Let's be honest, your photos don't look bad. They're sharp, they're exposed correctly, but they're just missing something and you don't know what it is. Well, in today's video, I'm going to break down a couple of things that might be lacking in your photos or some things you might not be doing. Also, if I sound a little bit weird in this video, I just got over a really bad case of the flu. So if I sound a little congested, sorry about that. Your photos might look boring because they don't say anything. There's nothing happening movement-wise or weather-wise to create a dramatic scene. See, if you play it safe with all of your photos where you have no dynamic weather, no dynamic imagery, you play it safe, you're gonna get a safe reaction from your viewer. It's just gonna be a meh kind of reaction. See, a landscape with no tension or no scale is just kind of boring. For example, take a look at this horrible photo I took from years ago. These are some cool looking mountains, but you wouldn't know it because this composition is terrible and there's nothing happening in the sky and the light is completely flat. There's absolutely nothing about this photo that's dramatic. It's so dull it almost looks like it was shot in black and white. Now cut to this photo of the Icefields Parkway. You have this beautiful dynamic sky with fog and rain above this huge glacier. And you have my wife standing down in the corner with her hair blowing in the wind. And it creates this sort of dynamic look where you almost feel like you can feel that storm cloud and all that mist coming at you because her hair's blowing off into the background, and you have like these huge towering mountains, and looking at it you can almost feel that wind coming through, or at least I can. This first photo, the only thing you get from it is tired, it's boring. So try to find elements that work together, and if you're shooting on a day where the sky is just that dull, try to minimize how much sky you're actually showing. The next tip is don't shoot what everyone else shoots. Don't stand where everyone else stands. Like, we all want to get those photos, which there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want your photo to stand out, you gotta move away and shoot something a little bit different than what other people might shoot. For example, take a look at this photo. This is for Pado Lake, and this is the photo that everybody takes. It's right off the I was gonna say pier, but it's like a looking point, a viewpoint? There's a name for that. Why am I blanking on it? Anyway, you're standing off this viewing area and everyone and their dog is taking a picture of this lake at the same eye line, same height, same everything. It's just the same photo. But if you move off to the side or you hang over the edge and you take a photo, you can get the same photo but with different elements, something that people haven't really seen too much of. See, just shooting off to the side creates this image. You have the hill in the foreground and this massive tree, which creates depth in the field. You're no longer just looking out with no judge of scale. Now you have a judge of scale here, and it's only shot from maybe 5 feet over from what's normally shot, like what everyone else is shooting, and you get this really dynamic looking photo. Just moving around can be your best friend. Next up is don't be afraid to leave the image a little dark or brighten it up a little bit. If you play everything super safe with the perfect exposures all the time, you're kind of limiting yourself. Some photos look better if you leave areas in just complete darkness. Like, look at this photo, for example. These mountains look so majestic in the setting sun. But if I had the raw file, I'd show you that if I brought up the exposure, you could start to see all the roofs of houses, house roofs, all in the foreground. And it would just look ugly. It would just look terrible. Nobody wants that. You don't want to look at this beautiful mountain range and see some jackass's frickin' McMansion. Like, no one wants that. This photo looks majestic the way I shot it. And that's a result of me not playing it safe. If I played it safe and just took a perfect exposure, it would be another throwaway photo of the mountains. But at least this way, it looks so much better, so much more interesting. Next up, I would say try and find ways to interact with your subjects. Wait for subjects to come into frame or use different subjects to create balance in your scene. For example, this is a pretty cool shot of a river, but what makes it work is you have the leading lines from the shore coming in, kind of like triangles down, pointing towards the middle, and I have my in-laws in their kayak, or their canoe, sorry, canoeing down the river. If they weren't there, it wouldn't be as interesting. It would just be a river shot, but now everything is converging on them. They're interacting with the environment, and it just makes for a more pleasing shot. Finding different elements to balance out certain things scale-wise or story-wise will always create a more pleasing image. Photos become more interesting when scale, contrast, and tension start working together. Photos are just more interesting when elements are arguing with each other, like these branches are trying to get in the way of this beautiful lighthouse, and they're just perfectly framed up. If there was no branches there and the lighthouse was there, it'd still be an okay photo, but the branches framing the lighthouse is far better in my opinion. Another thing I'd say is don't give up on locations, because you can go somewhere and shoot, I don't know, a tree or a building and the photo looks like crap. But then you go back maybe a month later and all of a sudden, wow, this place looks amazing. It's so photogenic. Why did I take such a shit photo the first time? See, I have this with this location. I have 2 shots from this location that I really like. This one, and then this one. Now, the first few times I went to this location, I got some really bad photos because I was just not shooting in the correct time of year. Like, look how terrible these photos look. I saw that there was potential for a great shot here, but it just wasn't the time and it wasn't the season. So I came back when the seasons had changed, the lighting was better, and I shot a nice green forest photo. And then I came back in the fall when I knew there'd be more dynamic color, and I shot this photo of a leaf in the river with that same subject in the background. And those are 2 shots that I really love. But if I had have written off this location off the first 2 or 3 times I went, I'd never have gotten these shots. I'd never have these 2 photos that I absolutely adore. So always go back to locations that you think there might be a tiny little possibility that there could be a good photo there. Just go back. Take the photos in all different seasons. You might surprise yourself. Boring photos don't come from bad cameras. It just comes from playing it safe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe. I'd love to see you back here hanging out in another video. And YouTube wants you to watch this video. I don't know what it is, but YouTube thinks you'll like it, so yeah, click it if you want. All right, you guys have a good one. Peace.